So you might be wondering how the Austin FC media core is like the Houston Dynamo. We both went to school tonight. Houston Dynamo were taken to school by Austin FC, 3-1 win for Austin, advancing them to the quarterfinals. I just got a little bit of Ben Olsen's post-match press conference where he was very salty, asked about the penalty right away, and he said, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. So that happened to Houston. They're out. Austin's now the only Texas team remaining in the US Open Cup. And then we went to school. We were doing our usual kind of interview rounds with players. You talked to Sabovich. He showed the marks on his arms from a foul that wasn't called. Talked to Gallagher. Gallagher was his usual good self. Stuver had lots to say. Got to talk to him. And then Ilie graced us with a 10-minute masterclass that still has me jaw dropped to the floor. It was incredible. And Moisés, what did you think of this? We have to share this with people immediately.
The real emergency would be putting more production value into this than needed. Just under 8 minutes, not even 10 minutes. He used our time that efficiently. A really great summation of things that we've reported on, that we have quoted, that frankly, I want to go back to the tape and probably edit something together, because he's been very progressively consistent about coming back to the same themes and being very precise with his wording about what the expectations have been for this season, what the expectations for this group have been, what is reasonable to expect when it comes to this group cohering. Even though a lot of these players have played with each other for longer than 5 months, there are a lot of things that have to get ironed out, and we're seeing that happen during the month of mayhem. So without further ado, we're going to throw to this audio, and then we're going to come back and talk for a minute just about this 8-minute masterclass that we got from Professor Sánchez.
And we're not even using theme music.
Did you feel we played better soccer tonight or the other day against Vancouver?
I say tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, because it seems like you guys don't want to lose these kind of games, because it's like you lose, you're out. So, I mean, the perception I have, it seems more like you guys don't want to miss this game.
When I say better soccer, I mean, so soccer has 4 phases. Attacking, defending, transition when you recover the ball, transition when you lose it. Set pieces, offensive, defensively, but we put that on the side. So 4 plus 2.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I agree completely with your point, but in my opinion, we dominate better the 4 phases on Saturday against Vancouver than tonight.
Right.
We scored more goals tonight.
Yeah.
We played with more urgency. And I remember, I think it was with you that I mentioned that we don't look at the opponents. You can record this if you want to.
Yep.
We don't look at the that's why we're doing this on the
absolutely.
record, right?
Yeah.
We don't look at the opponents, we don't look at the standings, or we should not look at the standings when we play league games at this point, because this is a process. New coach, new coaching staff, new players, a few of them, and even new vibe, right, around the team. So it's May, middle of May, we've played 14 league games, somehow.
Yes.
And 2 Open Cup rounds. I agree with Jorge. We take Open Cup games as exactly what they are, playoff games. You win, you advance. You lose, you're out. And what you can see, it's more urgency and a team that's locked in for 90 plus minutes, whatever it takes. Maybe extra time, maybe penalty kicks, who knows, for the next rounds. And that may be the difference in these kind of games. But that's exactly what we need to do and how we need to approach Open Cup games. And I think we're getting there. But when I say something and I come here in front of you, we all come here, we don't try to give you the classic answers. We try to explain how and why we do things here. And in my opinion, and I think my answer was taking in the wrong way the other day when I say that we don't look at the games to who we play against or the standings before the games. We look at ourselves, we focus on ourselves. We want to be a better team every time we step on the field. We want to dominate, and this is a process that we are not there yet. We don't dominate the games for 90 plus minutes, throughout 90 plus minutes, but we believe that that's the way and where we want to get for us to then get the results that this team deserve or have to deserve later in the season.
How do you guys can get this mentality to the league games?
It's difficult because we approach the league, obviously we want to win. That's the main goal because we are professionals, we play to win. But at the same time, if you only focus on that, if your only goal is to win the game, you get far from what will make you win consistently, and especially at the end of the season when the games will matter. I'm not going to say more, but definitely we'll have this playoff vibe, we'll have this all or nothing vibe that we need to play better in all the phases of the game to be able to be closer to the wins. Not when it matters, but when it matters the most.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is awesome. I love class with
Anything
Ilie.
else?
That's awesome. Yeah, so I would concur that yes, you played better against Vancouver than tonight, but also just the lack of finishing, the lack of scoring has been this kind of looming thing over the team in terms of the narrative. The whole kind of journey is, are they going to finish? Are they going to really fulfill that potential? And a game like tonight, it seems like that's beginning to click, that those things are beginning to happen. And just want to know just the evolution, the process of the offense. What are you seeing out there?
The quality that we have individually, especially on top, we cannot allow ourselves to not take advantage of that. And that comes first individually. We need to have that desire, that urgency, that willingness to do things well, but also it comes with teamwork and patterns that we can adjust, we can improve in the final third. The better we play with the ball, without the ball, the clearer the chances will be for our forwards to then take advantage of the quality. It's as simple as that, but football is simple, right? So the more we can focus on ourselves and work towards that, the better will be to get the results that we all want here. That's the main goal that we have here.
You said that you're not there yet. What are the next pieces?
No next pieces, to me,
Yeah.
It's insisting, if that's the right word, doing it over and over and over, and obviously having clearer ideas in the areas that we are not dominating throughout 90 plus minutes yet. That could be final third, that could be recovering the ball higher up the field, that could be being for more time aggressive and less time passive with and we have the ball, and that will come with training.
You've been on teams that have won MLS Cup, that have won Open Cup, that demonstrate that the streaks that we see in MLS, that's a big part of success in MLS. Do you feel like Austin is on the road to that kind of consistency, of having that kind of wind?
What I feel is that Austin FC, we are not as bad as people wants to think. And the teams I played for that became champion were not as good as everyone remembered them. We also struggled. We also lost games on the road, at home. And we needed time to find that consistency. That's something that should be our main goal for this season, winning games consistently. And if you go back to our message at the beginning of the season, we didn't promise trophies, we didn't promise not even a fantastic performances over and over, but we aim for consistency, and what we want to be or get is winning consistently throughout the season.
So Phil, what did you love the most about this?
Well, just that he came in asking us a question after he shaked everybody's hands, and we were just kind of so stunned that we couldn't really answer the question per se. I mean, I had something at the ready, but I knew that he was going to go someplace with it. So just wanted to let him do that. Obviously, you heard Jorge got in there and then I got in there as well. And yeah, because Nico had actually said in the press conference that He thought that they had actually played better against Vancouver. He came back to one of his chestnuts that soccer sometimes is a lie, right? So that this performance tonight was not as good as the Saturday performance, but whereas that was a 0-0 draw against a very good team where, like Ilie was talking about, they controlled in a lot of the phases of the game. To my point when I was asking him, that there's still been this narrative all season about they're not scoring goals, and that is going to eventually do them in if that keeps up. And at least in these last Open Cup matches, they've found a way to do that. And if they can replicate this in the league, which still remains to be seen, but if they can do that, then I think they have something, because we already know the kind of defense that they're capable of playing. And it seems like they're almost back to where they were at the start of the season now. But if you add in an offense that's actually cohesive, combined with the defense they've been playing, and of course, Stuver as a goalkeeper, you have a formula for something really good.
The thing that Ilie said to us as he went through shaking everybody's hands, which isn't on the recording, was that he wasn't going to talk to us tonight because he only talks to us when they're not doing well. And then he proceeded to talk to us anyway. And he said that other times too. And I don't know if I've actually captured it on recordings, but he said, I'm not going to talk to you tonight. And then he'll talk to me for 10 minutes. The availability, not just in the general media sense, but the emotional and intellectual availability of both Nico and Ilie is a really wonderful pairing of things where the stage in both of their careers that they're at, without good results, it has been difficult, I think, for a lot of people in the fan base to allow for processing the things that Nico is saying, because to some extent, are they excuses? Sure. Are they hedging for, well, they're still figuring each other out, they're still figuring themselves out? We're seeing that progress actually happen with Buka. We've seen that progress happen in really good ways with Brandon. Can it stay consistent? That's the next question. That's the next step of all of this.
Can Uzuni get involved?
Can Uzuni get to the same place that Buka and Brandon have gotten to? Sabovic, I thought, actually did better tonight than we have seen him coming in off the bench. I think that, to the point that I brought up, talking to Brad, talking to a couple of the other players tonight, one of the things that Nico said a few weeks back after that pretty significant loss was that players learn so much more from adversity. They learn so much more from a decisive loss than they do a victory that seems to come easy. And it feels like we are seeing the fruits born from the fertilizer manure spread over the seeds a few weeks back. And I guess the question is, how do they close out the month of May? So we're going to be back doing a regular full episode at the end of the week, but we wanted to go ahead and drop this and get it out there and let everybody enjoy the fact that Austin gets to face both Texas teams, which are now out of the Open Cup, in a couple months' time in August on back-to-back weekends at home at Q2. And just the thing that I want to leave people with is think about the prospect of that in the afterglow of what tonight was like, of watching what tonight was like, and hoping and thinking that the progressional trend that we're seeing ends up continuing. What could August be like if this is how May is actually progressing rather than regressing?
Yeah, for sure. And the end of the week, by the time you're hearing this, will be tomorrow. And we may tell you, we're going to tease this a little bit because I know that we're going to talk about this in the next one. We were not watching Austin-Houston, the entire Austin-Houston match.
Nope.
We had a little journey that the Open Cup took us to. And I think we're going to maybe enjoy that as our opening as we start on episode 49. This has been episode 48. It's amazing that we're closing in on 50, which is pretty incredible.
We're almost there. If there are more random midweek emergencies, maybe we drop more little micro episodes like this. Who knows?
You know where to find us.